So this week you're going to hear a lot about the severe weather potential because we have a potential severe weather outbreak coming up mid to late week. But you know what else comes along with that? Usually before the storms hit, it actually warms up really nicely. And you can just see it with the setup. This is the severe weather setup. By Wednesday, a lot of warm and moist air is going to be pulled toward the north. And wait till you see the temperatures that we're forecasting for some of these areas. I mean, look at Atlanta, 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Louisville, 80s Wednesday and Thursday. Shreveport, well into the 80s Tuesday all the way through Thursday.
Yeah, it was quite amazing. I just, out of the corner of my eye, just caught a little flash of something. It wasn't much, but it was enough to make me get the guys to turn the aircraft around and go back and have a further look. As it turned out, and when we got closer and we were able to have a better look at him, we saw that it was a person on the ground, and we were able to train the camera in and confirm that it was actually Luke.
We are told that Luke is well, that he is exhausted, he's suffering hypothermia, and he's also dehydrated. But as I said, he was walking when he was spotted by the police helicopter when searchers rescued him.
Live from the Channel 4 studios in Boston, WBZ News at 11 starts right now.
Tonight, Cambridge Street is a crime scene. Human remains discovered in a duffel bag there. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kate Merrill. Thanks for joining us tonight. Right now, police have one person in custody. Julie Lonchek is live in Cambridge tonight at an apartment building where additional remains were found. Julie?
And Kate, the Middlesex DA's office tonight confirming they do know who this victim is, and they obviously have a suspect in custody, but they will not release either name, either the suspect or the victim in this case. Meantime, investigators have been coming and going from this apartment building throughout the day, throughout the night, leaving with bags of evidence, but they are reassuring tenants they have no reason to worry. Late into the night, investigators could be seen taking pictures inside a third-floor unit at this Cambridge apartment building.
I would never have expected something like this.
We want to reassure the individuals that are living in the apartment building that they are safe.
Saturday, officials confirmed they found additional human remains inside a common area of 156 6th Street. The medical examiner arrived with a gurney, and investigators left with boxes and bags of evidence. Middlesex DA Marion Ryan says surveillance video led authorities to the building less than a block away from their initial investigation. Human remains were also discovered inside a duffel bag on Lawfrey Way, a pedestrian walkway off of Binney Street. Authorities believe there is only one victim, but won't know for sure until an autopsy is complete.
I didn't see anything last night. I even thought, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I was on that path.
The DA would only say that an unnamed suspect is in custody, charged with accessory after the crime of assault and battery, causing serious bodily injury and improper disposal of human remains.
I would certainly say disturbing.
This unnamed suspect will be arraigned in Cambridge on Monday. It's unclear whether or not investigators are currently seeking additional suspects. We're live in Cambridge. Julie Lonchek, WBZ News.
Tragedy strikes in Maryland where a father and his 7 children are found dead. Police suspect that they died inside their home from carbon monoxide poisoning. Right now, his relatives are dealing with the unimaginable losses. They say the father, Rodney Todd, was struggling financially and was using a portable generator to heat that house. An official cause of death is expected later today.
No. We've seen passengers behaving badly. Even a pilot having a mid-air meltdown in the cabin. But on board Air India Flight 611, the problem was in the cockpit. The Times of India reports 2 pilots went blow for blow in an all-out cockpit brawl. just minutes before taking off from Jaipur to New Delhi.
A breakdown in the relationship between pilots can have deadly effects. When you're in a cockpit, it's kind of a team effort. It's everything from one pilot reads a checklist to the other pilot responds and does the items on the checklist. So you need this kind of cooperation.
CNN cannot independently confirm the Times of India's account, but according to the paper's unnamed sources, the pilots were fighting over pre-flight paperwork. The captain reportedly told his co-pilot to write down critical information like the number of passengers on board, weight, and fuel. The co-pilot took offense and reportedly, quote, beat up the captain. Although 10 minutes delayed, the flight still took off. Commercial pilot Fred Tisi says it shouldn't have.
If you have a problem with an airplane, you need to address that problem before it ever pushes back from the gate. And if there was really a physical fistfight between these two, then yes, that compromised their passenger safety.
Air India denies a fistfight, saying, quote, it was just a minor argument. Following the Germanwings Flight 9525 crash, pilots' mental health is in sharp focus. The Air India co-pilot reportedly had other altercations. 3 years ago, he told the captain of a flight to exit the cockpit, remove the stars on his shirt collar, and fight him. In another incident, a captain reportedly questioned the co-pilot's mental health.
Tapper, the national lead now. We want you to see a brand new video raising questions about whether a man who died in police custody was mauled by a police dog. The cell phone images show the canine over the man's head. You can also see officers huddled over him. This was last Tuesday in Cumberland County, New Jersey. This cell phone video now emerging on local news in the area. The man on the ground, Philip White, died shortly after this confrontation. Let's bring in CNN's Atika Schubert. Atika, what are police saying about this incident?
Well, immediately after the incident, the Cumberland County Police Chief called Philip White's death a tragedy, but that was last week, and since then, this very disturbing video has now surfaced. Now, police, we called them today. They referred us to the prosecutor's office, which is investigating. The prosecutor's office won't give us any comment on this specific video. All we know from the prosecutor is the timeline of events, which is that basically police were called in on March 31st, last Tuesday, to a call of disorderly person. They encountered Philip White. They handcuffed and restrained him, and then, according to police, they called for medical assistance because he had problems breathing. Now, he was put in an emergency vehicle, and at some point along the way, he became unresponsive. He was pronounced dead when he arrived at the hospital. Now, we can clearly see in this video a police dog used in the arrest. But what exactly happened before the video, immediately afterwards, or what even is happening with the dog so close to Philip White's face, we don't know if that contributed to his death. That is what is now under investigation. I did speak to the family lawyer, however, the family of Philip White. They say he had no health problems that they know of, that he had no problems of respiratory illness. They're very distraught, especially to see this video, and they're now asking police for any other material evidence that might be there, such as dash cam video, to find out exactly what happened, Jake.
All right, Atika Schubert.
There have been road rage incidents where someone used their bare hands or even a golf club. But this is a new low for road rage. This threat has teeth. No, this isn't some remake of the Chainsaw Massacre with its drive-by slicings. This actually happened in a suburb of Montreal, Quebec. Alexander Hermenier and his partner, Karine Cyr, were driving with their 2 kids.
We hear a van. Oh, it's coming.
It was a tree specialist driving this van. The couple says the man in the minivan cut them off and was driving erratically, so they followed him to try to get his license and to tell police where he went, but then ended up in a dead-end street. The couple blocked his exit. He brandished the chainsaw, yelling, "Do you like this?" and making an obscene gesture. Karine Cyr yelled back that they'd called police. Chainsaw! Okay, your chainsaw, she yelled. Bring it on. The minivan drove off. The next day, police arrested 37-year-old Manuel DeLille, who pleaded not guilty to armed assault. But this case of road rage led to a bit of internet rage, much of it directed at the couple. What in God's name were they thinking, with children in the car as well? The couple agreed, Hermenier telling TVA Nouvelle it wasn't the most intelligent move. We haven't seen such outrageous road rage since a driver tailgated a Florida woman, pulled alongside to give her the one-finger salute, and then cut her off. Only to lose control, instant karma.
That's what you get!
He wasn't hurt, and at least there was no chainsaw.
New video shows smoke rising above the Sevastopol shipyard in northern Russia, where a fire broke out on a nuclear submarine. Russian news agencies reported that the fire began during welding work that caused insulation materials to catch fire. The 155-meter-long 949 anti-class submarine was on the dry dock for repairs. RIA News Agency quoted a source saying there were no weapons on board, while TASS reported the submarine's nuclear reactor had been shut down prior to the blaze. There was no word of any casualties, although the Emergencies Ministry so far has declined comment. A similar blaze on another nuclear-powered submarine in 2011 nearly led to a nuclear disaster. Months after that blaze, a leading Russian magazine reported that the submarine was carrying atomic weapons, contradicting official assurances that it was not armed.
Russian hackers got access to sensitive parts of the White House email system. They could even see the president's schedule, the non-public parts of it in real time. And they got access to all of this in a clever way through the State Department. Once they got in there, they used that access to trick someone to get him into the executive office of the president. Investigators say it's one of the most serious cyber breaches of U.S. government agencies.
Was this information classified, the information presumably that they hacked?
Well, the White House says that this was an unclassified system, but even an unclassified system has a lot of sensitive information that is very valuable to foreign spies.
That hack that took place at the State Department, which was publicized at the time, was actually done by hackers working for the Russian government, and eventually they managed to get into the White House computer system as well. What can you tell us about that?
Well, Wolf, first of all, I'm not going to get into details about our cybersecurity efforts. What I can say, though, Wolf, is, as you said, we were public about the fact that we were dealing with cyber intrusions, and the State Department was public about that. But the fact of the matter is, we have different systems here at the White House. So we have an unclassified system, and then we have a classified system, a top secret system. That is where the sensitive national security information is, the classified information is. That was a secure system. So we do not believe that our classified systems were compromised. I will tell you, Wolf, as a general matter, we're constantly updating our security precautions on our unclassified system. But frankly, we're also told to act as if we need to not put information that is sensitive on that system. So in other words, if you're going to do something that is classified, you have to do it on one email system, on one phone system. And frankly, you have to act as if information could be compromised if it's not on the classified system.
And I can tell you that as the result of that video and the bad decision made by our officer, he will be charged with murder. And that's not something that we like to hear or like to say, but it goes to say how we work as a community. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And if you make a bad decision, don't care if you're behind the shield, or just a citizen on the street. You have to live by that decision. And so we, as a city, want the family to know that our hearts and our thoughts are with them, our prayers are with them. Anything that we can do for them, we're here to do. We do not look at the responsibility we have lightly. We take the role that when we do wrong, we do wrong. But I want you to remember, we've got 343